Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Thank y'all for supporting the page. If this is your first time to the page, like and subscribe. We give away lots of good stuff. We've give away live scopes. We've give away trips to Lake Fort. We give away just recently a brand new live foot. We give away mounts, and we give away stuff all the time. But today's video, and I'm going to break this down into a two-part video. I'm going to do 5 tips today and 5 tips in a couple days. And all these tips you may not agree on. They may not be something, but maybe you'll find these are some of my best tips for not particularly just Livescope, but Garmin products or Garmin, in general. There's a lot of different things Garmin and a lot of different things that I cover. So let's get going. And these are going to be in no particular order, but one of the things that I try to tell everybody, this is going to be, we'll call this tip number 10. Whenever you update, always update via an SD card in your computer. Now, I know a lot of folks will say, I've been updating with Active Captain for a long time with no problems. That's fine and dandy. That's fine. Active Captain, they've improved it a lot. I've even played around with it, updated. I've had no problems with it. But it's not the one problem. It's not the over and over and over that you don't have problems. It's the one time you do have problems that creates a problem. Creates a huge problem. Because you've been updating with Active Captain so long that when you get a bad update, what do? You can't go back because you don't have that update on file. I have every update. If I like it, I keep it. If I don't like it, I discard the update, and move on. Matter of fact, I'm still way back on 26. I think we're on 33 now because I like the update. It's the update that works good. It has great detail. Everything is perfect. I've seen nothing that made me want to update to the new ones. I've seen some misaligned beams and things like that. People actually on the newest ones are actually losing beams. I've tried so hard to help, but then I suggest, going back, they don't have it. Always update via SD card. That's number 10. Number 9, if you do like to update, don't always feel the need to update. Updating is, if you're not having problems, don't update. Don't fix something that don't broke. You don't go fix a flat tire if you don't have a flat tire on your truck. You don't fix that. You don't put on a new worm if the worm's not torn up. You don't create a problem that's not there. And so that kind of goes with the SD card also. All right, so number 8. This is something that a lot of folks get hung up on, using forward mode and forward mode only. I'm lucky enough, and I will show it to you right here, to have, let's see if I can get it to focus, a forward and perspective mode. I'm very lucky. I know everybody doesn't have that. I'm lucky enough to have a forward and perspective mode at the same time. A lot of people are not. I got really lucky in that aspect. Let me straighten the camera up a little bit here. So one of the things, don't get hung up just using forward. If I'm fishing shallow water, real shallow water, forward's not going to help me, especially bass fishing, or sometimes even crappie fishing, as much as perspective mode will. Seeing the structure, seeing the cover, seeing that little bitty ditch in 3 or 4 foot of water, seeing that underwater stump, that's what will help you. Yes, you can see it in forward, but when you're only looking at a 20-degree beam, that stump's just outside the 20-degree beam, you're not going to see it. So it's going to really limit. You got to do a lot of scanning. You put it in perspective mode, you're able to see that stump off to the side, and then you can even turn your perspective mode and line it up and cast at that stump in particular. Will you be able to see your crappie baits? Probably not. You can see big glide baits, spinner baits, crank baits, and things like that. I have seen them just perfect. You got to get in the beam. It's kind of tough to stay in the beam sometimes with perspective mode, but it's very possible. But use perspective mode, use forward mode, use all your modes. That way you can optimize your unit. That's very, very important. Optimizing unit. So that's something. Use all your modes. Don't get hung up on one. All right, so here we go. Number 7. Number 7 is, this is just not, I use spot lock a lot. And mine is on the last foot pole. We'll talk about that in another video. I've been doing a little painting. That's why I got a black thumb. I use my spot lock a lot. But when I do it, I use the remote. Use the remote, because what it does is it takes your foot off of that trolling motor, and you're able to make minute details, 5 foot at a time, right, left, spot locks. You're able to use a lot of these different things, and by using the remote, you'll be able to actually concentrate, especially if you use a live foot pole or live scanner or right height or hand pole. Use that to focus more on the fishing and less on boat control. Boat control is one of the most important and often overlooked aspects of being a successful live scope fisherman. Facts. People who don't have good boat control do not catch as many fish. You have to pay attention to wind. You have to pay attention to a lot of times sunshine and things like that, especially in shallower water. That's why I utilize spot lock every single time I can. And when I use spot lock, I'll use the remote to kind of to guide myself 5 foot left, 5 foot right, 5 foot forward, 5 foot back, things like that, to better be able to use my unit and worry less about boat control. Like I said, boat control is very important. Number 6 and last for today, learn to use different color palettes for different scenarios. What does that mean? I'm a big fan of amber. I love it. The Livescope was developed around amber, in my opinion. That just seems to be that's the default color. It's beautiful. It has the most detail. It's awesome. But there are better color palettes for better situations. If I'm in a brush pile, sometimes amber will get you where you don't see the fish that are thick inside of a thick brush pile. And so a lot of times I'll use the blue color palette in nighttime mode. And if you don't remember that, nighttime mode, you push the power button and it says daylight, nighttime. I use nighttime. So I use nighttime mode, which darkens the background of the blue. And then when you get into a brush pile, those high density things like fish, large fish will have that good red interior, so you're able to pick them out of brush piles, pick them off of logs, pick them off of stumps a lot better than you can with amber, where they'll tend to blend at times. So learn to use different color palettes. I also use rusted steel. It's a great one. As a matter of fact, when I'm bass fishing, rusted steel is one of my favorite for when I'm throwing A-rigs and things like that, because it's so easy to pick up that A-rig on a long cast and make sure that I've got it at the right height. It's very important to, when you're reeling an A-rig or a swim bait, a glide bait. I'm really getting big into glide baits and things like that, and jerk baits, to make sure that you're approaching the fish at the right height. If you come in with an A-rig and come under the fish, or you don't catch it on the screen fast enough, and you come in right level to fish and you spook him, it's over. 10 pounder, 12 pounder gone. I've done it several times. Still do it to this day, because sometimes I don't pick up my bait in like a little bit muddier water situations in time. So I started using more of the rusted steel, and then you can really see, especially see that long distance splash, but you can pick up that bait a lot better because of the, amber. Sometimes things blend a little bit, especially at longer distances, but rusted steel, things like that, Caribbean's nice, and even blue with the nighttime color palette are excellent for reeling that A-rig or any of those, chasing bass and picking up your bait and making sure you have it on the proper level. So guys, there's 5 tips. We're going to give it a couple days, and then we're going to come out with 5 more tips. But I want to try hard to do, once we finish these 10 Livescope tips, I'm going to start doing a tip a week. Now we're already doing the vlog once a week. I'm not always going to pick on Jacob Fouts or Randy Blunkett. There are times that I'm going to pick on something else. I've got some really good stuff to talk about. I'm going to talk about Boyd Duckett and MLF. We've got a lot of stuff coming up, but I'm going to do one of those a week, one tip a week, and then try to do one Livescope video a week. And then I've been doing some logging videos. If you like that kind of stuff, that's my daytime job, and that's what I do. If you like that kind of stuff, you can watch those. You know, they get 200 or 300 views, but it's just kind of what we do during a week that gets me to be able to go fishing. That's my job, and thought you might enjoy that. But guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. These are tips 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and we'll have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in a couple of days. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And if you don't know what ring the bell means, a lot of people don't know what that came from. There's a little bell emblem. If you tick it, ring the bell, you'll get a notification every time you get a video. You get to watch it. So ring the bell. That's where it came from. So guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Ring the bell.